the culture of life and the law. We'll explore that and more on today's edition of Life Matters. Brian Johnston has served in many capacities while advocating for innocent lives, as the Western Director of the National Right to Life Committee, as California Commissioner on Aging, as Chairman of the California Pro-Life Council, on the board of the National Legal Center for the Medically Dependent and Disabled. And now here's our host, Brian Johnston.
Welcome back to Life Matters, your program on the right to life. What it really is, it's about a legal right. That's literally what the founders said in their founding documents, and that's where this movement got its name. The legal right to life. You're endowed by your Creator, and the duty of the government is to protect that life given to you not by the government, but given by your Creator. And so we talk about that in depth. It's always appropriate. It's always timely. It's always in the news. In one way or another, you just have to recognize what's at stake. And today we are going to talk about what's at stake in this coming election. It's an important election year. And if you haven't been paying attention, the right to life and the cause of life and the abortion issue, etc., it is top and center. And in particular, it is one of the number one issues that the Democrat Party is using, and they're misrepresenting what it is. And many people don't understand the depth of that misrepresentation. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to have some special guests. That's right. Because what we're going to discuss is, in a sense, the recent debate between former President Trump and current President Biden, and the specifics of this election. And if you saw that debate, we're going to go into greater depth about that debate and what was said in our next program. But I'm going to have a very different guest, and this guest actually I'm going to borrow from some friends at Fox News. So I'm going to be drawing off comments at Fox News, and you're going to hear from Shannon Bream. Shannon Bream is interviewing, of all people, a certain Senator Fetterman from Pennsylvania. Now, why is that important? It's because many people, Democrats and Republicans, people on all sides of all the issues, have made the very poor performance, the lack of lucidity, the mumbling and fumbling. They made that the entire topic of the debate, and it crushed them, even if they were strong Democrats. And everyone agreed that that debate revealed so much more. And it did. It really did reveal more, and we'll talk about that in greater depth. One question is, well, who's been making the decisions? Because this man clearly is not thinking clearly, and he's still in charge. So that's only one question. But I think that Senator Fetterman, whom you will recall that Senator Fetterman had the same problem. He was in debates with Dr. Oz. And I like Dr. Oz. He's very lucid. Dr. Oz can put words together, and he can really compel you with his arguments. But he is very, very talented. And as a doctor, he is lucid in every comment. And if you recall the debate, that the candidate Fetterman, he had been in Pennsylvania, the lieutenant governor. He had started as a mayor of a small town and had wrestled up the votes and then became the Democrat nominee for lieutenant governor. And a really tall guy, if you remember him. We are moving into visual. Most of you are listening by audio, and we are on YouTube. And if you're listening by YouTube, you know that I have to be picturesque in my descriptions because you can't see the video. We're moving in that direction, so look forward to that. So I will have to verbally describe Senator Fetterman, very, very tall. He's 6'5", if not more. He's a giant of a man. And he actually had some problems. He had a stroke and could not communicate during the campaign. So literally was just as President Biden was in a previous campaign, hidden away. And his communications to the public were dramatically controlled and minimized. And you're going to hear, as we come up to this, you're going to hear Shannon Bream. Shannon Bream is going to lead him in an interview on that very topic. And so that's why we have to examine, is the real issue the lucidity or the intellectual capacity of the president that's being elected. And that's addressed in this. But I want to go much more real and much deeper. That isn't even the issue. So I don't care if you say it isn't the issue, and you're going to hear Fetterman say the same thing. The issue is the policies, the incredibly destructive policies of this president and all those who surround him. And all those who surround him are the Democrat Party of the United States of America, the single most radical, leftist, destructive political entity in America's entire history. And if you don't believe me, I did extensive commentary on that because this party is a machine. It's a political machine. And in a previous program, you can go back and listen to that. I read to you from a book by a Democrat Party activist and an honest person, and it's called Machine Made. It's the story of Tammany Hall and the creation of modern American politics. So it's the policies that are actually around the president and the current Democrat Party. They are the most radical policies America has ever seen. And it's not just on the life issue. These are destructive of the United States of America, and they use words to misrepresent those policies. You have to follow that. We talk about words in this program in the past. I'm not going to wear you out with my linguistics background, but it's important that you understand the semantic slurring, you might say, the misrepresentation of certain words to make you think they mean one thing, but they mean something entirely different. And you know that on the issue of abortion, the meaning of choice. You know what choice really means. And I could give you numerous examples just on the topic of abortion. But the entire Democrat Party is what's at stake. And this election, we will need to have not just a pro-life president. We will need to have pro-life members of Congress and pro-life members of the Senate. And we have opportunities if you understand that. So we're going to come back in just a little bit. You're going to hear from Shannon Bream and from Senator Fetterman. And I hope you're going to be entertained. Be right back.
Life Matters continues after this.
Hi, I'm Kevin Sorbo, and I was very excited when I heard about LifeFest Film Festival. LifeFest is the film festival dedicated to showcasing films that affirm the intrinsic worth of innocent human life and the profound significance of each life. I know one of your prizes is the Capra Award, awarded to that production that best reflects Frank Capra's thematic ideal. One seemingly insignificant person can in fact change the whole world in which he or she lives. That one singular life ends up being of vital importance. I'm so glad to hear that you are cherishing that in this film festival and are committed to artfully and creatively protect the lives of those who can't possibly promote themselves. They are dependent on the love and goodwill of people like you to speak on their behalf. Well done.
Find out about the exciting cultural change impacting Hollywood. Go to lifefilmfest.com. And now back to more Life Matters with Brian Johnston.
Okay, we're back. We're talking about the real issues at stake in this election and has nothing to do with the cognition of President Biden. Everyone I know not only has made that an issue, even Democrat Party people whom I disagree with, they've made it an issue. Oh my gosh, we've got to replace Biden. This is terrible. That is not the issue. The issue is the policies of the most radical party the United States has ever seen, and in particular on the abortion issue, but literally on every issue. You have to understand that's what's at stake in this election. So we now have Shannon Bream of Fox News, and she's talking to Senator Fetterman, who himself had quite a challenge in his debates, and yet he points out, well, he overcame that. So he's still trying to defend Biden and say that that debate is actually irrelevant. And I actually tend to agree. And you'll listen to him and you'll see why it isn't just that debate. So here we go. And the question is, you know that you also had a hard time, says Shannon Bream. So let's listen to the beginning of this interview.
You know what it's like to have a tough debate. You posted about this and said for people who were freaking out, you said, chill the blank out. But that's, the worries have only grown. You heard Lucas's reporting. We now have the New York Times, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, a number of pundits on the left saying it's got to be done for the good of the country, for the president to step away. Have you changed your position at all?
Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't put any kinds of, there's no value in any of those things. I mean, there was that same kind of a freak out after my debate. And in fact, I might even say that I had a more difficult evening than the president did. And here I am right now having this conversation. And I really like to remind to everybody watching that right now, Biden is 1 and Trump is still 0. And he's the only person that's ever beaten Trump. And I really believe that Joe Biden will do that again, despite all of the Democrats wetting the bed over that kind of thing. I'm right here there.
Okay, so you've heard from Senator Fetterman. He was not bothered in the least by the nature of that debate and by the intellectual or seeming intellectual prowess of his president, because he knows what you and I know. It really isn't about the president, and it's true in every presidential administration. Who does that president bring into office? What policies does that president bring into office? That's really the role of the president, is to lead a nation by implementing policies, and that means bringing people who adhere to those policies and put them in particular positions to carry out the will of the president, the policies of the president. And just for a second, I want to remind my pro-life friends who don't like politics. If you don't understand the issue of politics and commit to understand it, if you just love babies, and I love babies, if you have just said, well, after Dobbs, I give up on politics, I'm just gonna take care of moms and babies. That's my pro-life commitment. You do not understand the pro-life issue. Sorry, you don't, because it's about policies, and our nation is willing to kill babies at any time, for any reason, even after they're born, all in the name of choice, all in the name of freedom. And if you aren't willing to stop that, then you don't understand the depths and importance of this issue and the timeliness of your involvement in the policies, the politics of your nation. Okay, we have another question from Shannon Bream. And it's, do you worry about his competence? And after all, okay, I guess you're talking more clearly. That's impressive. Wow, you're really impressive, Senator Fetterman, because even though you're just as confused, even though your policies haven't changed a bit, now you string words together so much better. It's exciting. Well, I can have an interview with you now, finally, which she could not do when he was running for office. But aren't you concerned? Do you have any worries that he's not going to get better? Because his issue is not healing from a stroke. His issue is tied to his age. Does that not worry you?
Senator, your position, obviously, is that we've been able to watch and see this incredible recovery for you. You've, gotten consistently better and better. But a lot of folks will point to President Biden and say, if this is a matter of age, if it's a matter of ability, that's not going to reverse. So different than your situation?
Well, no, it's, of course, we both had a difficult debate, and yet we still managed to go on to win. Now, everybody was calling that was the end of my career, that was the end of this race, and everyone was predicting that I was going to lose, actually, by 2 points or more. And I smoked Oz by 5 points.
Okay, well, we've just heard from a very interesting interview that Shannon Bream had with Senator Fetterman of Pennsylvania. Now, Senator Fetterman himself has tried to frame his own positions. It's very interesting to me. He's trying to frame using semantic shifting and language to imply that he's going to vote against the Democrat Party agenda now, that he's much more conservative. We don't have time to go into his actual policy positions and then how he frames how he's going to vote in the future. But I promise you this, he would not stay in the Senate if he voted regularly against the Democrat Party leadership of the Senate. He wouldn't stay. They wouldn't let him. They'd replace him. I know the Democrat Party. I'm quite familiar with their methods. So he is implying that he himself, even though he had been non-compos mentis, that's a fancy Latin word, meaning he was actually not able to communicate, he was not able to think straight, and now that is ostensibly what's going on with the current president of the United States, and he says, well, that's not the issue. Guess what? I agree with him. It's not the issue. The issue is the policies of this Democrat Party president who has brought the single most radical players, not only of the Democrat Party, but the policies. Again, I mentioned earlier, politics is about policies, and people are the ones that implement policies. The people surrounding this current president are incredibly radical. The people surrounding Mr. Trump have dynamically opposed policies, and they are willing to stand up for life, to stand up to unlimited abortion on demand. And since we're on it, and I do broadcast out of California, one of the supposed replacements is going to be Gavin Newsom. He believes not only in unlimited abortion on demand, not only that, but unlimited government funding, but not only that for California. He has sent California money and California agent provocateurs into pro-life states to ensure that young women there, because basically you do have babies when you're younger, but to in any way possible break the laws of those states using California assets to come and have abortions in California. If you don't understand that that's going on, and again, we've done other programs on this, that's the real implications of the Dobbs decision. In many ways, Dobbs did not completely overturn Roe. Simple language has been used to gaslight you. No, it adjusted Roe. It didn't change Doe v. Bolton at all, which has that magic word health. If the life or health of the mother's in danger, then the doctor, the abortionist, can do whatever abortion he wants when he or she wants and shall not suffer under the cloud of possible prosecution. That is still in effect, and it's especially in effect in California. So the Dobbs decision did not stop a single abortion. I hope you realize that. It said, well, we're going to let people vote on it. Well, that's very intriguing because they didn't vote on the first one. But it did not overturn all the implications and all the criminal aspects of the Roe and Doe decisions. So the word overturn, a single word. And again, you need to study to show yourself approved and understand language. To use overturn is it's slightly inappropriate as a verb. It adjusted Roe v. Wade. And now the real battle is on us because this is being voted on by the entire nation, most of the nation not fully comprehending what abortion laws really mean. And that is continuing. That march of the abortion industry is continuing. We're going to talk about that coming up.
Life Matters continues after this.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, CEO of MyPillow. I support this show, and I would like to offer you our biggest discounts for listening. So please go to our website, mypillow.com, and put in the promo code at the end of this message to get the biggest discounts. Again, thanks for listening, and God bless.
And that promo code is LIFE. All caps, L-I-F-E, LIFE. So go to MyPillow, put in the promo code LIFE, and you'll get some wonderful discounts because Mike Lindell believes in you and in Life Matters. And that promo code is LIFE, L-I-F-E, LIFE. You know, it's pretty flattering when someone contacts you. Mike Lindell has made the life issue his number one issue. Everybody knows about Mike, and most people know that the issue of life, protecting innocent life, is his number one issue, and he likes Life Matters. I want to tell you, yes, I have supported MyPillow. Mike has supported us, but I want to tell you more because it's not just the pillow and the sheets. We have those. I have the towels. They work. They're real cotton. It really is a benefit. It's a blessing to have real products that are made in America. But I want to tell you more because you may know about MyPillow, but do you know about My Store? Mike has so many products. If you go to mystore.com, you will see the many, many other products. Everything. Let me just give you a list of the categories. automotive products. That's right, everybody's got a car, and there's a lot of things you need for your car. Obviously, bath products, but beauty products, books and videos, clothing, decor, food and drink. And I'll take a moment now. I got Mike's coffee. I'm a coffee connoisseur myself, and I got his drip brand coffee, but there's many different types of coffee. He's got other folks' coffee as well. If you have coffee pods, if you've got a Keurig and you need pods, you've got those. He's got other products, Split Rock coffee, Pillars of Patriot coffee, but I actually use Mike's coffee, and it's good. I just get the drip roast. I'm old-fashioned that way, and I use a cone filter. But that's just one of many food products that Mike offers at my store. And if you use the promo code LIFE, L-I-F-E, it supports Life Matters. It helps keep us on the air. So he's doing a good thing for America. You know that. You can't go very far on television or radio and not hear about Mike Lindell. But there's other products, again, at my store, at mystore.com. Kitchen and dining products, household essentials. There are, of course, patriotic products, religious products, toys and games, home improvement products. Go to mystore.com, use the promo code LIFE, L-I-F-E. And again, a special thanks to Mike Lindell. You know, Mike Lindell has really, like our founders, he's pledged his life, his fortune, and his sacred honor to uphold our Constitution. That's a very American thing to do. So I appreciate Mike Lindell, and he appreciates you if you believe in the right to life. What we do at Life Matters, we want to equip you with a deeper and practical understanding of what the right to life is and what you can do about it. And Mike Lindell believes in that. So go to mystore.com, not just MyPillow, but at mystore.com, enter the promo code LIFE, L-I-F-E. That helps Life Matters, it helps America, it helps Mike Lindell, and it helps our nation move forward for life.
And now back to more Life Matters with Brian Johnston.
We're back, and you're listening to Life Matters. We're talking about Mr. Fetterman. I wish I had a picture to show you, but I'll try to be picturesque because you'll remember him. Very bald. Hey, I didn't say I don't like. I'd probably like to talk to him. I like everybody as a person. It's the evil ideas they implement that I must oppose. Because we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, do we? No. It's the people with these wacky ideas. So always be friendly if you're pro-life and committedly pro-life. Continue to be friendly and clear in what the issue is. The issue is implementing these ideas that human life is disposable and all of its implications. So Mr. Fetterman has talked about that, and we're going to take one more break, but I hope you understand. Please understand now as we're coming into this. This is not about Mr. Biden's competency, and that's already been demonstrated. Somebody else is doing all the decision-making. That seems clear. So it's not about him. It is about the policies of the current Democrat Party. If you're a long-term Democrat, if you were raised Democrat, many pro-lifers I know say, I'm going to stay Democrat. I'm a pro-life Democrat. And I understand where they're coming from. Don't worry. But the fact is, this is not the Democrat Party that your folks. My folks came from Ireland. She remained a Democrat. My dad came from Ireland. He became a Republican shortly after he got here because he had to start living in business reality. He started a business, and they literally disagreed on which political party was best. Thankfully, my mom would discuss politics with my dad, and he was sharp enough to explain why his policies of the Republic. And even as a kid, I remember, actually I was much older when he explained to me the real meaning of the Senate and why the Republic, as established in the U.S., Ireland didn't have it. Ireland has a Seanad, the Senate, and it has Dáil, which is the lower house. But that's dramatically different in the Republic that you were given. And again, we've had programs, and some of my friends that listen in, you know that the Republic as established in the United States of America actually was unique in the history of humanity in drawing all of the finer principles of what a republic is and putting them in place so that we could indeed, so that government itself could be held accountable. So there's some people out there that still are Democrats. I get it. You were born in a Democrat family and it's part of your legacy. But you need to know, I mentioned earlier, machine made. I'm Irish. I'm a dual national. And the Tammany Hall machine, which Terry Galloway, again, go back to my program if you haven't heard it, but you can read Terry Galloway's book. It's available everywhere. And it's very clear and it's honest. The Tammany Hall machine believed in winning elections at any cost, and they didn't hide that. They didn't hide the fact that, they actually would if they won the election. Too bad. And even if some of the votes seemed rigged, well, as long as you win, elections have consequences, to quote Barack Obama. And in Terry Galloway's book, he admits the current Democrat Party is built entirely of the Tammany Hall patterns and principles. And they started by taking advantage of Roman Catholic Irish. That was their predicate. We'll take care of you. We love you, Irish. Come on. And then the immigrants from Ireland, as that dropped off after the potato famine, immigrants tended to come through New York. The Italians. And so Tammany became a big fan of Italian. They went to the Italian boats as they came in. They gave them their voter registration as they got off the boat. And so you are dealing with I must tell you, and it's clear, and I can give you more documentation. People don't like when you say this, but it is demonstrable. The Democrat Party has, at its root, very flawed, majoritarian. If you can control the masses, then we control the laws. And they don't care how they control the masses, even if it is illegitimately. If they have to use gray areas of the law, as is the case in the voting in Chicago, you know about that. In the Chicago, they say vote early and vote often, or as they say, even the dead vote. So we're looking at that right now in this election. Please don't focus on who Mr. Biden is or on his lucidity or his capability to speak clearly or make himself known. That really isn't the issue. And amazingly, Mr. Fetterman agrees with me, and I agree with him. You better look more deeply, because Fetterman believes the most radical policies as a good Democrat. And yes, Mr. Biden does, but more importantly, everyone that he empowers as president believes in radical Democrat mob rule, dramatic change to our culture and our society, particularly the idea of protecting innocent human life. Thanks for listening.
Learn more about everything in today's show online at lifematters.life. Life Matters is a production of the California Pro-Life Council.